Hi, YouTube. I hope you're all doing good. I'm doing okay. Um, Maybe. Give me a second here. So. I don't know. Still in the dark a little bit, maybe. A little better, maybe. There you go. Um, yeah, I don't know what the topic of today is. I guess we'll see as we go along. I thought I'd just chat and roll some cigarettes, and I've got one I'll just talk to you, and if I have to roll one, I will. I'll put it that way. Um, I had a real interesting question a friend of mine on Facebook asked me. Um, in fact, I'll read it to you. Um, it was maybe sad and funny at the same time. But, Barb, you know so much. May I ask you something? May I ask you about some biblical thing? Go ahead. Then I've been writing with one living in my country, Denmark. She says she is Lilith and the devil herself. We've been writing for over 2 years. She says she's been at war with me before in a past life or up there somewhere, lol. But I simple can't figure it out. Or she's an enemy of me as Elohim? Question mark. Maybe you know and understand something about if she shall be allowed or not. I don't know if you want to see her profile to get a better idea, I wrote. Sure, I will look later at her. First, I will give you my thoughts. I believe, in fact, just a minute, I'm going to pull this up big. Maybe. Yeah, I am. Just a minute. Actually, my eyes are a little bad, so it depends. I have my days where they're not as bad as others. I injured them really bad out in the snow one time, and I used to wear glasses for correctiveness, and it did correct them. So I actually passed my driver's test without my glasses. So, but some days, like yesterday and today, I've had a little bit of a headache, and it puts a strain on where my eyes have been injured, and I had metal in this one and have a big scar. So I have my days where it's worse, which is like today. Okay. I wrote, I believe there are two sets of twins in spirit, Mr. and Mrs. Satan and Mr. and Mrs. Christ, all working in people how they choose. So, yes, I believe she just work might be that spirit working through here. I would drive her crazy if I were you, lol, but that's just me. Or if you are afraid of witchcraft, maybe not. Have no fear. If that bee says she hates you, and yes, she is my foe also. Hopefully that makes sense. He wrote back. Yes, I've also been around those thoughts for a long time, lol. I fear none, and with no witchcraft can harm me, and they know it. Thank you very much for taking your time. I actually have tried to lure her out these 2 years and play with her, get her real name and face, lol. So, yes, I play her totally. Feel you are right there also. So, I just thought I'd share that with you because it was interesting to me because um that's what I believe to be true. that the male and female spirit of a good man and a bad man and a good woman and a bad woman, that is what's going on this planet, where most of the time the women are kept silent and out of the picture, and you just think God and you think Satan, and you don't think Satan's going to have another half that's actually working in there that can use like female charms and different things that might be of the Christ spirit, but then put a twinge of evil on that thing that you don't see coming, and that's the reason why. The same with the devil coming like a picture of light. You're not going to realize at first because you're going to be fooled by the lightness of their character until they slam dunk you and it's too late. So those are my thoughts on that. So if that makes sense to everybody also. So yeah. But yeah, this person that I'm talking to was somebody that had a lot of confusion going on in his life, and I know I helped him through a lot of them hard times, and I'm grateful for that. It's just like with yesterday, having some of my prayers answered as far as more people um, saying God's name and not being shy about it, no matter who thinks what. I mean, people aren't shy. They wouldn't be shy at all if they said, well, I'm transgender, because then they'll just like, oh, well, it's fashionable. It's some kind of trend going on. So people wouldn't look down on you for that. But if you say you believe in God, they're gonna, oh, you do? Well, then why are you like this? Or why are you like that? I tell people too, you can be the most evil creature on the planet and still believe in God. It doesn't mean you have faith in God or that you follow God in any way. It just means that even Satan believes in God. You know, of course he does. Here's something. What if there was initially three angels, just say, and a third of the angels fell? Well, that would be two of them. What if they were both men? And then they made this extra woman because they didn't have one. And it turned out to be really demonic. And all the children of the planet are satanic because of this demonic spirit that's in everybody. It's just a theory. I mean, I'm not saying that's what it is. I can't prove nothing. I'm just speculating. So I had watched a tour of the Philadelphia Art Museum that Robin's Hood and his wife had gone there yesterday for her birthday. And I noticed a statue in what they call the Great Hall of this museum. At first, I thought that it was Aphrodite or who's the other one? Well, there's one other one, like the goddess of love type of thing, and it did end up to be Diana, who is a protector of like families and children and that type of thing. And she had her bow taunt aiming at like this war scene. But at first, I was thinking if it was like Aphrodite being like Cupid, maybe she was shooting her arrow of love into that, you know, but into that war scene. So, but I did look it up to find out who she was because I was curious. But see, I know that a lot of the Greek mythology has a lot of mixture of true stories out of the scriptures that are hidden in the mythology. And so that's why Greek mythology and studying that is so important. Um, Not to take everything literally, like the figure Pan being um, part human and part goat, and the term pansexual nowadays, whatever that's supposed to mean, like they're no sex, no gender at all, which is entirely impossible. But they can say whatever they want to try and make things up. Just it's more than a fad. It's the demonic spirit working through people, trying to harm them. You know, people think because they're whatever spirit. Okay, here's a for instance. Yesterday I had somebody unsub from me, probably because what I was teaching about the churches, or maybe not. I have no clue. But I do know that if they're not listening to one spirit, they're listening to the other one, and their ego got in the way for whatever reason. They didn't want to listen to the truth of what I was telling them about those churches and the real things that are going on in the world, you know. And it's true. I used to love to go to church until I found out what it really was, you know. I'm not saying every single church is bad. I'm saying the majority of them are. And they're teaching demonic scriptures, doctrine that have been written for that purpose to lead people away from the true way to get to the Father, which is now with the fallen angel bloodline, the only way to get to the Father is through Christ. If and people see, that's why, like Catholics for instance, and Jewish people, and they don't feel they need that Messiah. And that's our interpreter. That's the Christ spirit in our heart that helps us to hear that little voice inside us, that nagging little voice. Not nagging, but it's pleasant. It's not like your heart's hurting if you get a message from God. It's not painful, or at least it shouldn't be, I would think. But yeah. Anyway. Very beautiful day here, 40 degrees. I shared something in my community that I thought was good for everybody. I'll share it here too. Some of you still carry wounds of being mistreated by parents or partners. I hope you know that not everyone is annoyed with you. Not everyone is upset with you. Not everyone is rooting for you to fail. Grant yourself the same kindness you give to others. That's really important. It is, because sometimes we don't take enough time to um, give ourselves enough pats on the back for the good things that we do, and a lot of times a lot of us don't have people that are going to pat us on the back for anything we do. So give that to yourself today, people. Here's the word for you, and then I put two other words that go along with it and mean exactly the same thing. Kadi Wampel. to travel in a purposeful manner towards a vague destination. The two other words that go with that are kittywampus and a variant, cattywampus. All real words, same meaning. so, so if you're on the path but you're going like that, you know, you're purposely going that direction, but you're a little off kilter, but you're still heading in that direction, you know. So that's my explanation of that. So that's kind of my personality. I'm a little kitty wampus or cotty wampus or catty wampus. Cotty wample. That's what it is, yeah. So a little bit. I mean, I know where I'm going. I know the path I'm on. It's the same path, but sometimes I have a tendency to kind of like bump into trees and shit along the path. You know, my eyes are a little bad. You know, I can see. It's just that sometimes I close them on purpose. I think it's because I'm waiting for people to catch up on that same path. You know, that's true too. So I've kind of thrown myself down a level. It's the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. I've literally put myself on the same path, but a harder journey on that path to help other people. So if you know what I mean, I think if you know me well enough now, you'll absolutely know that what I'm saying is true. It's kind of like Christ coming down here as a man. If you're a God, you're God. There's no reason why you would have to put yourself in a physical body that rots and dies unless you want to reach and teach people that are in dying, rotting bodies because Satan wants to keep you there, you know, and he wants to free us from that. If you believe and see, that's a scary thing to a lot of people is just the thought of dying and not having your eternal body to go into, which will be glorious. That if you can know that's a fact, that might help. But put it this way, even if there wasn't a body for you to go in, you're going to die anyway. So if you take the chance that having faith in God is an actual thing because you know somebody put you on this planet. You didn't put yourself here. And if you know that other people actually made a way in life where they wouldn't have made no way and God put that way before them, if you've ever been through that yourself, don't discount that. Don't discredit that act of love from God, even if it's through other people. Know where that came from and know the help that you did receive. A lot of people just discount the gifts they've gotten, and they don't honor God for anything, you know. I think, and this is just my thoughts, but this isn't it. Well, here I go. I'm not going to be very nice for a second, but some people are like so godless and suicidal at the same time. And my thoughts are on that. Well, just stop eating and stop breathing then and hurry up with the process. You know, don't worry about where your next meal's going to come from. And don't worry about asking God for any help because you don't believe in that. So just sit all depressed and feeling sorry for yourself and know that you're here by accident and you aren't a part of the grand design and you weren't made beautifully and wonderfully. You're just a piece of crap that needs to expire. So, my Bob, my cat, just goes, Mom. Do you hear me saying that? What do you got to say, Bob? Yeah, he's crawling up in a chair. Maybe I can show you, Bob. Oh, no, he's leaving. Okay, he left. He answers me a lot. I'll be talking and he'll answer me. So at least somebody does, right? But seriously, so taking religion out of the picture between people and God is the best thing that could possibly happen on this planet. Not leaving people to their own defenses or all alone without any community or with even without the scriptures. It's realizing that we are the church. It isn't a uniformed sacrificial religious order that tells you what to do, these men telling you what to do. God doesn't work like that. Individually, God talks to each person, and it's the Christ Spirit in our blood that helps us communicate with God. That's how you go to the Father, and you can't without Him. That's why He died on this planet, was to leave His Spirit here so it would never be gone from the people. And it's here. So I do have, I ran across a lady that had some really good news information, except for I do have an issue with churches that call themselves the bride of Christ. A bride indicates a woman, not the whole church. The church is the body. And that's part of the teachings that have been misconstrued. It's putrid. That'd be like, and what if Christ had a wife and every single Christian on this planet was claiming that spot as their own? Wouldn't that be putrid for that marriage and that couple? Sure would, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would have a tendency to piss somebody off. Might get hurt doing that shit, in the end, you know. Because if you really aren't listening to the voice of God and the Spirit, even with what I just said, if something there didn't ring a little bit true to you, it would make me wonder why not. Really would. You can disagree with me all you want, but if you put your ego aside and listen to those words I just said one more time and put yourself in the shoes of that bride and groom, the first bride and groom, and then everybody wonders why their marriages fail when they've been traditionally taught not to honor the first union. Yeah, think about that. I do. I think it's pretty sad that the first mother isn't being called mother. Not by many, and if she is, she's being misconstrued by religious orders that just want to make money off of the whole thing and not honor Christ in the situation. So they have to go and talk to a priest before they would personally, a personal relationship between you and God. It's not even a relationship with you and Christ. The ultimate goal is for you to be able to talk to God. It's not just for you to hear the Christ Spirit, it's for you to be closer to God. That's why Christ did what he did, you know? So, and these aren't just my takes on everything, these are my observations, the things I've learned through life and studied. And I believe if it was something that might go against a church, at first I was like, okay, this is just crazy because they're dissing on God and whatever. And no, it's not like that at all. Nothing will take God out of your heart by not believing that some Catholic priest can't get you to heaven, because he has nothing to do with it, you know. And although God might hear your voice, that man should never hear your innermost thoughts unless you're freely giving them thoughts to people out of the kindness of your heart so they can determine your character, you know. That's different. That's you actually exposing yourself as a human being for other people. You're humbling yourself like that. Those are the people I love listening to. Somebody that is not afraid to say what's on their mind when it's on their mind, and tell you why they're saying it with no hidden agenda. Just the stuff's right out there, right up front, you know, no matter what it is. It could be half whacked and corny as all hell and coming from the darkest pits of hell. And I'll still respect that more than somebody that's trying to live a lily white life and portray themselves as perfection, like nothing ever goes wrong in my life. You know, oh, is that right? Okay, good luck. You know, so, but yeah. Now, well, shout out to the people that are going through hell with other people on this planet, that with all the misplaced sexuality and the deviatedness of it all. And some people do feel shame in their lives. That's how we repent for our sins, is with shame we would feel from doing something rotten. And God hears us right away. If you actually feel that, he knows that instantly. You don't have to go and tell some man how you feel just because it looks good in front of the public or it's going to make money for a church, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me the worst thing you ever did. I don't care. You know what I mean? Ask me. Ask me questions. You probably won't want to hear the answers because I'll tell you the truth. It's been a long life, you know, and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. I haven't ever denied God, not once, not one time. Even when I was acting crappy in my life, and I still didn't deny God. I've swore at him a couple times, but I didn't deny him, you know. That's the truth, which I wouldn't recommend. Not a good idea, you know. Yeah, don't swear at your parents ever. It's not a good idea. You'll pay for that. Yeah, you will. And I'm sure I did. You know, and if I haven't fallen down enough stairs or fallen up enough of them, I'm sure I'll fall down one more, and that might be the last time. But maybe on my way down, might have been mean the day before, and I'll be knowing it, you know. Is that karma? Yeah, I believe in karma. I do. I also believe that some of us really have had carried other people's karma for them. you know, and if you are one of them that have actually carried the weight of your spouse on your shoulders, if they are not loving enough to do the same thing for you, you might want to pause next time because it gets a bit painful. But yeah, I am one of them. I've carried the weight of the world on my shoulders many times. But I also know that God has carried the weight of me on his shoulders with those people on my shoulders. So I know who the true foundation is, you know. So, well, I do appreciate you all being here, and I hope you found some value in my chats. And um, yeah, have a really beautiful weekend. I'm going to really enjoy it. I just have a feeling things are looking up in a lot of ways, even though it doesn't seem like it in the world. I think people like you and me are making an impact out here. Don't be quiet. Keep saying what's on your mind. That's the best thing you can do. And if you feel like you messed up, fess up and just carry on. And that's all we can do. Who cares, you know? Who cares, really? You know? But do beware of this Baphomet push because it's messing with some people. And they are hurting themselves. And they're hurting other people too. So it is a very big deal, everybody. All right. I love you so much. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Talk to you soon.